Scott Golden with Golden Opportunities Coaching here. Welcome to the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel once again. And today we're going to talk about something that is very important in my coaching practice. If you're interested in more information, you can do so really easily with the links that are contained on this YouTube page. All you have to do is just check out the page. You'll find links to my services. But anyhow, the link between flexibility and progress. You know, one of the things that I help people with most often is to reassess the values that they've given to certain attributes of their life, personal, professional, and the inner life or the rules-related stuff. And often it's helping clients come up with their goals, define their goals, and then be forgiving enough to allow themselves to find a level of peace and sometimes even prosperity, financial or otherwise, within being flexible within themselves and their desires. What is flexibility? There is, in fact, a really simplistic manner in which one must be able to look at themselves in order to be able to find that balance. You know, most often when we're working on something, we'll get a lot of advice from other people, from coworkers, colleagues, spouses, friends, family, and all sorts of other individuals who mean well. And they'll say something like, this is the way to do XYZ. This is the way to get a new job. This is the way to attract your soulmate. This is the way to keep your marriage together. This is the way to make more money. This is the way to deal with your kids. This is the way to deal with whatever else. And it's damaging because, in reality, when we say this is the way, this is the supreme being of giving something an opportunity to turn out well, our mind, the wonderful thing that our human brain is, often will shut down every other opportunity for the same advancement or the same progress. Now, I want you to just do a little visualization exercise with me. Imagine you're going to your favorite coffee shop or your favorite restaurant. And imagine that you know the destination. But let's suppose that in the wonder that is the winter of 2018, things are a bit messy on the main highway you would use to get there. Now, unless you live in a small town, there's probably more than one way to get there. And you really want that coffee or that special sweet treat or whatever it is that you want from that specific place. Would you deny yourself the opportunity to have that favorite snack or meal on the basis of only being able to get there one way? Or would you take an alternate route? Chances are, if you're anything like me, you'd take that alternate route. Probably quicker than you would any other, because you really want that outcome of that, extra large latte coffee or the triple double chocolate cake or whatever have you. Why would you do that? Because the goal and the destination matters more than the pathway of how you got there in most cases. And you were hungry anyway, right? So often when we want to make a change, we limit ourselves in the progress we make because we believe that there's only one way or one person's opinion or value in doing something and a way to do it. The gift of flexibility is the destination or the goal matters more than the methodology. Now, science has proven that there are certain ways to make making change easier. However, your connection between the known thing you know and the unknown thing I don't know how to do or accomplish has to be made in a way that makes sense to the person trying to make the change. In other words, if you don't have a passion for the way that someone's told you to do something, no matter how many times you try, chances are you're not going to do it. And even if you do, it's not going to stick. And for any change to stick, you have to be committed to making it, but also committed, and I want you to write this down if you have a pen, to replicating the process that allowed you to make it. See, life is one of those things where it's kind of a constant choose your own adventure game or Mad Lib, so to speak. In that, every day, opportunities and choices are going to be thrown at you. Every day, you're going to have different opportunities to react and respond to circumstances, people, and situations. If you believe that you can be flexible and resilient in your ability to respond, then you will have a much easier time in daily life and in problem solving or handling situations that don't need to become problems. Instead, they're just challenges. But if you believe that because you've been taught or because you've been conditioned, and to be honest, you've conditioned yourself because anyone can change the conditions that they operate under if they so desire. But if you believe that you've been instructed to behave in a certain way and haven't looked at your rules in a while, chances are you're wasting a whole lot of energy, or at the very least expending some, in methods that aren't working for you. Sometimes being flexible requires you to ask certain questions. Questions that I think every person should ask, at least on a weekly basis. What am I trying to accomplish? What have I accomplished lately? What's getting in my way of accomplishing my next goal or objective? How could I look at things differently in a manner that ultimately would create an ability to get there quicker and in a more simple fashion? Do I really want to expend the energy I'm expending in this, or is there an easier way? If there's an easier way, who has it? Where do I go to find it? And if there isn't an easier way, who can I study that might make it simpler for me to get where I want to be? These are valuable questions. And another factor in being flexible is also the need to give yourself permission to perhaps look at the things that haven't worked in the past and do the self-forgiveness work necessary for acknowledging, hey, that didn't work and I held on to it for a while. But I am a new creation each day. New creation because I have new insight, new creation because I have new opportunities, and new creation because I can look at things differently. Remember, above all else, your history is not your destiny. This means that 86,400 times every day, you have an opportunity to be flexible with what you believe about yourself, with what you believe about situations as it pertains to your life, your finances, your family, and even your physical health. While medical science has done a wondrous job of advancing us over the last several years, even a century, one factor that remains is the fact that what one believes impacts how quickly they heal or if they heal at all. A person that believes in their wellness versus a person who focuses on their sickness will in fact have a different trajectory of healing. So too are belief systems and goals. A person who believes in their ability to respond, adapt, adjust, and basically get the most possible value out of every experience, because every experience is, after all, an opportunity to learn and grow, is a person who will reach their destination quickly. Now, some people would think that having goals and being flexible is, in some ways, a contradiction. This is not true. You never lose sight of the goal. And yes, it may take you a little longer than you'd like, maybe some time that you wish you didn't have to spend, but you can always adjust your reactions and responses on a daily basis, allowing you to potentially meet new people, make new mental connections that allow you to approach situations differently, speak differently, respond and act differently, or gain interest in finding more information to make life simpler. See where being flexible is valuable. Now, there's many things that would cause a person not to feel flexible. And as a coach, life coach, business coach, and relationship coach, I help people to look at whether their belief systems, otherwise that BS they carry with them, is in alignment with what they really want. Oftentimes, previous relationships or family dynamics, social, economic, or even religious or other background factors, social programming from childhood, all sorts of other things can factor into whether a person gives themselves permission to be flexible or not. Here's the thing, though. If you stay where you are, you'll always get what you've gotten. you'll do what you've done and remain relatively stuck. The more flexible you become, however, the more opportunities you open up for yourself, both mentally, emotionally. In other words, you'll have more energy if you're not as stressed out over what hasn't gone right, and energetically. In other words, you'll have the energy to do what needs to be done rather than wondering about and focusing upon that which hasn't worked for you thus far. Now, sometimes that's hard, and if one has been labeled as having something wrong with them, an illness, a mental challenge, or deficiency, disorder, or something else, a pattern of thinking that they believe they cannot break, or any other thing, people can get stuck, stay there for years. But the interesting thing is how you see yourself, your self-image and self-esteem also has to be flexible. And this is where the majority of people get stuck. They believe or have believed that their self-esteem is what other people think, say, or do as it relates to them. Problem with that is, that's outside the self. And in reality, you're not responsible in this life for what other people think. If you were, you'd be able to control their thoughts. You are, however, responsible for your reactions to how people think, how they feel, and how they interact with you. You can control those reactions based upon emotional mastery, which is another thing that coaching can help with. One thing that's important to realize is that the definition of who you are is not controlled by your feelings, but instead your beliefs about yourself. Now, from time to time, your beliefs may contradict your emotions or vice versa, but what you believe will eventually lead to what you become. Because your mind, genius thing that it is, will try to align with circumstances, things to see, people to meet, opportunities to explore that align with your beliefs. And so it's important to believe I am flexible. I am able to solve or handle challenges. I am able to think of new things. I am able to create new realities for myself. I'm able to take advantage of opportunities. I am able to do what other people would consider or think is impossible. While your circumstances may be uncomfortable now, that doesn't mean that they will be that way or there forever. Every person has within themselves recuperative, regenerative power within their mind as well as within their ability to do or conquer new things. While science may not be caught up with the idea that we could generate a new finger or foot, it is possible to generate new thoughts that would lead to new ideas that would allow us to use medical technology to benefit ourselves if needed, among other miraculous and amazing things. More than anything, the message of this daily, audio blog, for lack of a better term, is simply don't lose yourself in the idea of going in a direction that isn't going to suit you well. Instead, focus on only the things that will lead to progress, and the progress that will lead you to where you desire to be from a different level and in a completely different level. You must be able to understand that progress must be the goal. Now, if you are looking for any type of connective that would give you the opportunity to reach those personal, professional, or inner life goals, I would encourage you to get in touch with me, Scott Golden, and my staff at Golden Opportunities Coaching, providing you the opportunity to ultimately follow along with us through this YouTube journey. Also, I encourage you to follow us on social media as well. Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching on LinkedIn as well as on Twitter, and that is at PO Perception. If you ask a question there, we will turn it into an audio clip here for the YouTube project within a couple of days. So if you have something that is proving to be challenging to you, that's the best way to do that. Also, if you use the coach or the code TTC for a limited time, and you're a first-time client, you will get a discount on your services. So check that out as well. Until next time, YouTube, Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities. Easy for me to say coaching. Reminding you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.